These guys are making it very difficult. Very difficult. Arsenal versus West Ham at the London Stadium. Another London derby for Arsenal. Started off like gangbusters, fantastic. Finished off in a draw, 2-2 to West Ham. Second week in a row, we've let a 2-goal lead slip to come away with a draw at the business end of the season. They're making it very, very difficult, Edson. Very difficult.
I'm on my third blunt of the morning. Yeah, okay. I'm on my third blunt of the morning. Let's leave it at that.
I mean, it's, and I've been telling you, I said it in the chat, I said it before we started just talking. I don't know what switch gets flipped from Arsenal looking like prime Barcelona to looking like Tottenham. I don't understand what happens. It happened last week against Liverpool for the first half. We looked like we invented the sport. And again, for the first 20 minutes of this game, it looked like the commentator said it best. It looked like a training match for Arsenal. 2-0 up within 10 minutes? It looked like it was going to be 5-6, 7-0 that game.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, boom, like that. We turn into Arsenal. We turn into Mustafi Mertesacker Arsenal. I don't understand what happened.
Yeah. I mean, where do we begin?
Speechless.
Where do we begin? I mean, I guess we could jump into player ratings. We can talk about I mean, watching the post game. One of the commentators said it best. We've been scoring, right? So where are we breaking down? It seems like things get a little confusing on set pieces.
Why now though? It's been perfect all season.
Sometimes it's like, okay, we defend the initial part of the set piece. Second bit going into the box, is maybe where we'll give up issues. Some counter stuff as well. Mikel was kind of Mikel Antonio was kind of isolated against our center backs. It always seemed like Gabriel was the only one back there. You know what I mean? It wasn't sort of the two-man pivot where you see Saliba stepping up or stepping back sometimes, and then you see Gabriel doing the same thing. It's not sort of the same give and take. A lot of times, Holding is just out of the frame, and Ben White not good at all today. Also, especially going forward, seemed like Saka just. He and Saka maybe not on the same page. They just were both not good today. Didn't look like Saka had too much support. Ben White maybe late once or twice got forward and actually looked like he had some clear space in front of him. Outside of that, it was just kind of a weird disconnected day for those two down that side. Who else? Partey up until the Declan Rice giveaway, I thought was fantastic, and then his day took a downward spiral as well. There's kind of a lot to sort of pick through. The first guy I would have subbed would have been Xhaka, to be honest with you as well. So not great performances all around, especially outside of. That 3 or 4 minute burst where we put together the 2 goals and like you said early on, looked like absolute, like we were gonna, make up a goal differential today alone, and I'm gonna take a little bit of time to, vent. But in the end, I will bring it back around, into the sense that if you told me at this point in the city, this is where, or in the season, this is where we were gonna be, 4 points up, forget about the game at hand, whatever, 4 points ahead of City with a game versus City still to play. We would have all taken it, with 2 hands. If you told me at Christmas this was going to be the situation, okay, I would have taken it with 2 hands, okay?
Of course, yeah.
At the start of the new year, I would have taken this with 2 hands too. So, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves here and get all woe is us and woe is me. I won't do it anyways.
Yeah,
Obviously disappointing because it's bottom table. Okay, I get it, but it's also a derby. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why. Maybe we expected them to be asleep for the entire game. They showed up and they made a game of it. When it was 2-1, we knew that it started to feel eerily similar to recent weeks, as you just said. So,
well, it's not to be woe is me, but it's just now I don't want to get into the situation where now we have to hope for other teams to do do us a favor when it comes to teams playing against Man City, and we have this in our hand. All we have to do is win our games, and we don't even have to. We can lose at City; it didn't matter. Just have to win our games, and it's over. But we had 2 games, West Ham and Southampton, coming up. Those were the 2 that we needed all 6 points from. We got 1 from this game. We have to beat Southampton, and then we go Chelsea, Newcastle, City, and Brighton. And that's tough. That's tough, guys. But anyways, let's get into the player ratings. My player ratings won't take very long because everybody was shit today. Well, apart from a couple. Yeah. But I mean, let's start at the back in net. I'll give my rating first. Ramsdale 4. Should have saved that goal. Second goal should have been saved.
Yeah.
That's it for me. 4. Terrible.
Yeah, 4 I think is harsh. I'm gonna give him.
You're gonna be upset with all my ratings then, because everybody got 4.
I'll give him not. There's 5 is the standard today, so I'm giving him a standard 5.
From man of the match last week to I'm not gonna say goal.
I'm not putting goal swords on him.
No, I'm not either. But in a title race, is the big saves that he made last week in a title race. That's what we need, and that ball can't go in. It can't go in. That second goal cannot go in. But not blaming the loss on him, but that performance was not for me. The right side, Ben White.
Ben White was a 5 too. I mean, if we're giving out 4s, I think that I think Ben White was worse than Ramsdale today. So, but yeah, I mean, maybe there is a 4 out there somewhere. But I won't hang it on Ben White. I guess 5. We'll go 5. You know what? Actually, I will hang a 4 on him. That was a bad performance. Rarely in the frame defensively, and contributed basically nothing offensively.
The assist for
was it? Oh, sorry, take that back. So then I won't call it a 4 then.
Maybe a 5.
Yeah.
Well, I'm giving him his jersey number, which is a 4. Apart after the assist, nothing was done. Nothing was done out. So I don't know if getting down to the business end, we're tired. I mean, we're only playing once a week now. Rest should come during the week. I don't know if we were only capable of playing one way. I don't know, but I mean, last couple of weeks, I don't know, man.
Well, let me tell you something. The Saliba negotiations are going really well from his agent standpoint right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you that much because it's looked a mess. Okay, it's looked a mess back there. We're not quite hemorrhaging, but we're giving up. It's not hard to find goals against us at this point. Put it that way. And again, like you said, we're playing the bottom teams here. Yeah.
And it's not lost on us or me, but Ben White's on a right back. I get it. 100%. I understand he's not a right back, a trained right back. I get it. But you're playing all season in that position. You're a right back on Arsenal. I mean, all the success that we've had, you've been a big part of it. Today, he wasn't at it today. So, again, 4 for me. Move to the middle of the field. We'll start with Rob Holding. Awful. Awful's harsh. I'm giving him a 4. Look to get bullied by Mikel, which is not he bullies everybody, but at the end there, he got
Oh,
bullied by Ben
Ben
Rama.
Rama as well, of course. Yeah, that was
You can't get bullied by that guy. Like, come
terrible.
on. For
Terrible.
a scoring opportunity. I think they hit the crossbar.
Yeah, I mean, he's done an admirable job to this point,
Yeah.
but I think that any real baller, goes out there and sees Rob Holding across the way, they're licking their chops.
That's right. They're rubbing their hands together. Get me one-on-one with this guy.
Yeah.
He's not fast.
No.
And when he does get the ball, it's just a hoof up the field, and that's not how we play. But
yeah, there was a lot of that. There was a little bit of Holdinho early, and then there was a lot of hoof and and
panic.
Not missed opportunities for counters, essentially.
Yeah.
Later on in the match, and the question becomes how long do we persist with that? Are we living and dying? Do our championship hopes live and die with Rob Holding? You know what I'm saying? Or do we try something different? Right.
Well, I don't know if this is the time of the season to start trying things.
Well, it's not trying things. Do we reunite Gabriel and Ben White in the middle? You know what I'm saying? Do we maybe shift to a full-time 3 at the back and play Tierney and Zinchenko? Right? These are things I think that we should definitely be talking about. You know what I'm saying? We should definitely be thinking about these.
What are you giving Holding?
A 4, sure. I said I wasn't giving out many 4s, but here we are.
We're hanging 4s.
It's just it's like calculating degree of difficulty in diving or in figure skating. The degree of difficulty against this squad is such, it's so low that when multiplied by what the actual performance was, the aggregate that you get on the end is just this. So standard 5, maybe you're right. Maybe it's a standard 4, maybe a standard high 4.
No high 4s today. There's no high anything. No high anythings today. I can tell you that much. Not on my side anyway. His partner in the middle, Gabriel, who was probably he played. I think he played well. He was obviously one of the better defenders that we had today.
He certainly wasn't bullied by anybody. You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit tricked, if you ask me, to be honest with you. The way that he kind of pulled up on that penalty. Paqueta's going down, bro. He's going down already. Okay, if he's even a hair shorter, a couple of inches, if he holds his momentum up a couple of inches shorter, which is what he did. He held his momentum up. It's just he kind of miscalculated it, and Paqueta threw himself into it.
Yep.
Right?
He bought it.
The actual contact is minimal. And, you said you saw an angle where it didn't look like a handball by Rice. Yeah. I don't know. I thought I saw an angle that maybe did. Who knows? The point is, that's calamitous stuff right there. That's not championship stuff right there.
No. That's the old Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
The old Arsenal. So I gave him a 6 today, which is by my standards for today is man of the match worthy rating. But I gave him a 6. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, would have been worse, maybe. You know what I mean? If Gabriel's not there. Again, it seemed like he was on an island out there by himself and still managed to get stuff moving forward, in an attacking sense as much as possible. You know what I mean? He's still him, he's just playing beside, someone from the Mustafi era. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, it's a nice sentimental thing to have him in the squad until you gotta count on
4 games in a
row. Yeah,
Okay.
So yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Who are we rating even again? Gabriel,
yeah.
Okay, so I give him a 6, to be honest with you. I give him a 6.
To round off the defense, rare start for Kieran Tierney. Zinchenko injured. I don't know. Made a joke about Orthodox Easter. Maybe he's celebrating that. I don't know. But Kieran Tierney came in today. For me, I mean, played okay.
Yeah.
Big block against, I think, Jared Bowen to block a chance on net. I don't think
he definitely escaped the 5s and 4s.
Yeah, for sure.
He definitely escaped the 5s and 4s.
Yeah.
To the point where, things actually did feel pretty secure defensively there, with him for a good amount of the match with me. So I think it was Holding who kind of started to deteriorate, that the other side that started to deteriorate a little bit. I guess as we're kind of pushing forward, pushing Ben White forward into the attack, but not doing much, like I said, to connect with Saka for him in the second half. But yeah, back to Tierney. Happy to see him, playing well, up amongst our best players back in the lineup. More of a natural left back, but still kind of occupied some of that midfield position for a little time there. And it didn't look too foreign to him. It didn't look like maybe it has looked for him in the past a little bit. So, and, extended run for him is a good thing. Clearly we need our entire squad firing because, the injuries are piling up and, form is, slipping here or there. And, it's going to take every bit of resources that we have to pull this off. And we knew that from the very beginning, So, encouraging performance from him.
What are you rating him?
I'm giving him a 7. I'm giving him a 7. Just based off of the circumstances and him not having played all season. And, he played like a bit of a leader out there. Like you said, played till he got cramp on that block there. We're sucking an L right now. We're talking about no points right now. Yeah. We're talking about no points right now without that. Okay?
Right.
Because it sure didn't seem like Ramsdale, had a beat on any of that. So, or just like you said, judging from Ramsdale's performance today and just how things went for us, that thing gets through. That's on goal. That's going in. They're celebrating. They're celebrating 3 points, and we are having this talk has a way different tone than it all already.
4, you're lucky to get a 4 if that happens. Here,
exactly. Yeah, there ain't no episode if that happens. So
I don't think I'd be here right now.
I don't think either of us are showing up for that.
Moving to the midfield, a shocking performance today. Usually the standard for this guy is an 8 or 9. Today I'm giving him a 5. Thomas Partey, he started off well. He was making their midfield look silly, and then a couple of loose passes. The mistake for the goal leading up to the penalty, yes. And then a yellow card chasing back, which for me wasn't really a yellow card, but to play in that position in the way that West Ham was playing, I could see him getting another one. The way the referee was flinging the cards around for Arsenal. So for me, a 5 performance. It's a blip. You can't play every single game 9 rating. I get it. So this is the one that he's not getting a standard rating.
Yeah, I don't feel like Thomas Partey's ever been a 5 in his life, basically. Okay,
no, he wears 5. That's about it.
Exactly. I'm not even going to give him a 5, to be honest with you. I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6 based on the fact that that penalty was still a little suspect to me anyways. And, that yellow card didn't seem like a yellow card. Yes, he gave the ball away, but he also was involved in the build-up for, I think, the second goal, if I'm not mistaken. He unlocked and Odegaard he unlocked and then Odegaard unlocked, or maybe it was a chance. I'm not sure, but I don't know. But he's involved in everything, and we use him so much. And I mean, I to be honest with you, I would have gone with Xhaka out first and kept Partey in there, even on the yellow. He can obviously play under control, if need be. and especially in a game like that, like I would have much rather have had Partey there helping to build, the attack to win the 3 points rather than have Jorginho kind of at that base. I would have had Jorginho maybe a little bit further up the field, trying to unlock as opposed to build. Anyways, that would have been my personal preference. That said, not a great performance, but like I said, he ain't never been a 5 in his life. That's all. It's just the number he wears on his back. So I'm calling this performance a 6 today.
His partner, Xhaka.
Now, this, I mean, again, I don't even want to spend too much time on anyone, but that felt like a pretty invisible and sort of inconsequential performance from him today. At first we were saying, Declan Rice, man, he's invisible. To me, if I'm on the other side, I don't see Xhaka at all today. I didn't see Xhaka at all today. That's it. And even down the stretch there, when he was still in the game, he almost looked like he was out of place. He wasn't taking up good positions. If anything, he was crowding the spaces. Not a good performance. I think we mentioned a couple of other things, before we actually started recording. Not his best at all. And I think maybe he suffered a little bit from not having Zinchenko there. So yeah, not his best performance.
Well, he's able to get further up the field when Zinchenko's there because he knows Zinchenko's probably behind. He can cover with Partey. Those two playing together can make up Xhaka's position for him. That's why he pops up in the yard box. But none of that today, and I think you're right. It's due to not having. I'm giving him a 5.
Yeah. Yep.
Same for you.
Yep.
Martin Odegaard scored a banger today. Second goal he scored. It was a great goal. Actually, if we're looking back, maybe the goalie went through his legs, I believe, off of volley. But still, to be in the position, pinpoint perfect ball from Martinelli. Tried to do his best to pull strings, I guess. I'm giving him a 6.
I mean, I'm giving him a 7. I thought that he played well for the most part, and he was the one who looked up for it. I think he suffered from Saka being, not good at all today. We'll obviously get to him. I think he suffered from that a little bit. And just nothing kind of happening down that side where he sort of resides, where he sort of does his thing. He's not to say limited to, but he's kind of involved in the right side combinations. And the other two guys were just not on it today at all, not at all. And then there was also I think a little too much of Jesus coming deep, and it limited I think Odegaard's ability to have an impact, on the game from the midfield. So he had to try, kind of pop up in different positions a little bit while Jesus was out there and playing in that way. So I don't think that he was at fault for anything. I think a 7 is a fair rating for him.
I don't think he was at fault for anything either, but I've seen. I'm basing.
I mean, he scored the goal that should have. That he scored. He gave us the goal that gave us our cushion. You know what I mean? Like that should have been at the very least the winning goal. Yeah. So that's a 7 for me.
Okay, moving on to the left wing, Gabriel Martinelli. We just spoke about the assist he gave to Odegaard for the second goal, but other than that, didn't really see much from him today.
Well, I mean, we weren't. There was more happening, I think, down the right side, and things were kind of futile. We were having real troubles getting started there. Most of anything good that happened today involved, Martinelli or whatever, especially first goal, obviously. I thought that we needed to look for him more. You know what I mean? We needed to do more down that side of the pitch. I don't know. I thought he played well when he was on the ball. He just didn't see enough of it. Didn't see enough of it.
Giving him a 5, that performance. How about what's your rating for?
That's a 6.
And what I think is probably going to be our man of the match, because he gets my highest rating today. And substitution, well, when we talk about Arteta, I guess we'll get into the substitutions. But Gabriel Jesus, for me, that's a 7 performance. He was all over the park, a bit too far back to pick up the ball for me to be playing striker. There was a time where he was picking up the ball deep, and I think Kieran Tierney was playing center forward at the time.
Right.
That's how interchangeable the player positions are in Arteta's system. But for me, he's picking the ball up way too deep. But again, he was still the most effective player on our team, and I was just shocked when Arteta decided to take him off. But and we needed a goal, so I don't get it. So for me, he's getting a high 7. So there's your high rating, high 7.
Yeah, I'd say he gets a high 7 as well. Like I said, yeah, like we were just saying, picking up the ball too deep, a little bit too deep. Yeah, I was shocked at the sub when his name was the one that came up. Saka was the clear, choice. If not, then Xhaka. You know what I mean? You take a more offensive posture. You have 5 subs, so you can do that. You know what I mean? And then bring in a Jorginho to close if you get another lead, right? So I thought that bit was not managed very well at all, and I thought that we should have gotten our subs into the game a little bit earlier as well. But that, again, that'll go towards the managers because I mean Jesus was playing well, and has combined well with Trossard. I can't see why they wouldn't get a chance together. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point we're like chasing a goal. I don't think that bringing Trossard into the middle to play makes much sense. You know what I mean? Especially like it doesn't give us the option to kind of go long and try and hold it up, which was Jesus was doing well. I thought that he was doing that and does that well. I thought that Trossard should have maybe gotten a chance out on a wing somewhere, dropped into one of the 8 roles. Dueling 8s beside Odegaard and building from that left side. I think that was the structure that would have worked and we should have gone with.
There's a lot to discuss with Arteta, but when we get to him, we'll. That's and to end off the starting 11. Bukayo Saka. Listen, it's not because of the PK miss. He was non-existent before and after that. So he's getting my standard. He's getting a 4 today.
Yeah, that's the worst that I can recall him playing. And kind of back-to-back stinkers. Out of him. Yeah, 4.
That's rare. He's the lowest rated player today. Well, him and Holding. So I don't know if one of us wants to give another tick, so he's not on par with Holding. But for me, I'm not changing. I'm not letting you change it from a 4 either. So that's
I was gonna say like I can't see. There's no justification. I mean, to me, they're both low 4s.
All right, let's move to the bench now. A lot of guys on the bench didn't really have enough time. And Nketiah, I don't think we can really give him a rating. Vieira didn't really do anything either.
I mean, that specifically goes back to the manager's rating. Not sure why in a game like this, London Derby, why not go with the Hale End boys as your substitutes? I thought that ESR could have certainly used a look instead of a Vieira in this game. Vieira has been used as this kind of a sub in the last few games, or 2 of the last 3, something like that, over the last few games, and hasn't produced the goods. And I think that Smith Rowe's performance in U21 shows that that he's ready to contribute now. But he needs the opportunity. Maybe he wasn't ready the couple of times that he has gotten minutes, but that's weeks ago now. I think that, he would have been a good shout today. Reese Nelson with more time out there. I was balling for Reese Nelson. I was saying almost right after halftime, this feels like another Reese Nelson kind of game. And I was hoping for him to get involved a little bit earlier, to have more time to make the impact that we needed. And when he came on, of all the subs, he was the best. He gets my highest sub rating. I'll give him a 7. He not a 7. Sorry, I'll give him that's for a substitute. I'll give him a 7. We'll call it a low 7. He came on, brought the energy, possessed the ball. Things were happening on his end. Put a couple of crosses in, one onto a head. Again, I feel like had started to kind of combine with Trossard there a little bit as well. I want more Reese Nelson. I had a nice skill pulling down a cross to him as well. He looked composed. He looked technical. He looked about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I want more Reese now. I want more Reese.
Yeah. He did put in a good subs performance. For me, I'm giving him a 6. Like you said, I remember there was a ball not playing that much. A ball got crossed to him, and he took it down one touch to move it, keep the ball moving. So
unbelievable.
I know they're professionals, but off the bench and not playing a lot, that easily either goes under your foot or it's a bad touch, and you explain it away that way. But he was able to bring it down and keep himself sharp as a professional. I remember what you were talking about. I'm giving him a 6.
Yeah, no, he looked like he was knocking on first team door. That's what his performance looked like compared to the rest of them out there, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm not going to give Vieira a rating. I'm not going to give Nketiah a rating. I'm not going to give Jorginho a rating. We've just rated Reese Nelson, and then we have finally, before we get to the manager, we have our Belgian Leandro Trossard.
Yeah, Trossard is always dangerous. Just wasn't decisive today, but I give him a 6.
I gave him a 5. Again, I think we're probably going to talk about this when we talk about it. Well, let's get into it anyway. Let's talk about that. Mikel Arteta. Again, like you just said, Trossard and Jesus. I don't understand why they can't play together.
Exactly. Why didn't we see that?
Yeah, I don't know. So that goes back to some of Trossard's rating as well. I think he can't be the focal point. He's got to be underneath the striker. And if you have Jesus still playing, or even if you brought on Nketiah earlier and have Trossard underneath him, maybe something different happens as well. But again, I mean, like you said, laundry list for Arteta today. Laundry list.
Yeah. Right. He's getting the lowest rating. So
mine too, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and it's crazy because it looked like we came out of the dressing, like whatever he said in the pregame talk, worked. We came out of the dressing room like guns blazing, on, fully on fire. Yeah, disappointing. I would. It's weird because I know hindsight is 20/20, but even as Saka was stepping up to take the penalty, I was like, he hasn't done anything in this game. It felt like maybe it could have been a good shout to have Jesus or Odegaard, for that matter, take it. Jesus having already scored and been playing so well, obviously Saka is our taker, and so and I know that he's going to make the next one whenever, wherever that is. But he just, he'd been, he was riding a streak of bad form, all the way back to the Liverpool game, and it just never felt like, to me, like that was going to be a decisive penalty score. So, anyways,
And I
that's
think we're getting we're now starting to see the effect on the Arsenal players of that, maybe that World Cup, maybe of the EuroLeague qualifiers,
100%.
whatever the hell else they're playing.
Yeah,
Xhaka
everyone's playing
again.
a lot of games.
Xhaka's played a lot of games, and now I looks to be, even from last game to this game, looks to be fading a little bit down the stretch. Saka the same. Hopefully
Ben
we
White,
get
I mean,
Ben White.
went through camps. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's right, Ben White. Yep.
and he's playing in a position that, again, is a little bit foreign to him. It involves a lot more yards, covered. And he hasn't had much cover in Tomiyasu because he either hasn't been in form or he's been injured.
Yeah. So for Arteta, from me, like you said, lowest rating for me, he gets a 3 today. Substitutions were too late. Wrong substitutions came on for me. I mean, I'm not a EPL coach, but for me watching, wrong substitutions came in. One wrong player came out. Jesus should have played the full 90. We talked about maybe he was on a minutes restriction, but at this point, when if you can be on a minutes restriction if we're up 4-0, then you can be on a minutes restriction. If it's 2-2 against a team like that, where we're fighting and every point counts, I'm sorry, but if you're available to play, you're playing 90.
Well, I mean, if someone's on a minutes restriction, the plan is to build the minutes as you go. You know what I mean? Right. And like it doesn't seem like that's what we've been doing. You know what I mean? It seems like he's been playing the same amount of minutes for like the past 2 or 3 games, and
right.
And that not make it. You know what I mean? Like we need him right now. And like you said, he was our best player, and taking him out of that stage in the game when we needed a goal just made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
I was shocked when I saw that. I saw his number on the board. I was shocked. They made a mistake. They made a mistake.
I was totally confused as to who the subs were and who was coming in for who. I was like, wait, what? Who? What? And like I said, I mean, Partey I thought was a bit of a mistake too. I thought that maybe trying another partner around him, Jorginho in Xhaka's role, something to that effect, or Trossard again. If we're searching for a goal, Trossard as that that other number 10 working on the left side. He's got a good enough ethic in terms of doing the hard yards, and he nicks the ball really well too. I thought we missed an opportunity there.
We definitely did. 100%.
And we're leaking goals right now. So all this, in one way, shape, or form. I mean, if you want to take it back to the summer when we had a chance to sell Rob Holding after our run in last season, and I think I probably said on the last podcast when he played well and when he's performed well, hey, it's a lot of disrespect. He's also put in big games for us. But the thing is, we want someone that we know that can come in consistently and provide us with like the kind of performance that we need. Has Holding won a game from Saliba all season long? No. That's the kind of backup center back that we need. That's the kind of backup center back that I thought we had essentially in Ben White, somebody that could kind of push Saliba and win a game from him here or there. You know what I'm saying? Win his way into the lineup. As it turns out, Ben White's our starting right back, and now we're injured and depleted, so we don't have an option to put anybody there. Otherwise, if there was a Tommy, we'd be looking at Tommy, Ben White, Gabriel, Zinchenko, or Tierney, and we wouldn't be looking like this. We wouldn't be dropping goals to West Ham or to whoever else we have since then. It's a little frustrating that he's still there in a sense. Like we have an old holdover kind of a guy in El Neni. You know what I mean? The locker room guy, whatever the case is. We need a player there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you persist with Rob Holding and he's on the squad again next season, and we're not even at least looking at somebody like an Austin Trusty or somebody that can be an upgrade at center back.
Well, I think if you fix the right back issue, Ben White comes back. So I don't think maybe you don't need to get a center back, but you have to get a right back.
We need a signing in defense. Yes.
Well, yeah, you got to get a right back because unfortunately, I love Tomiyasu, but he's not reliable. He's injured, out of form, whatever it is, you know. So you need a right back. So you have to figure that out.
So I mean, how do we fix it is the question now, right? I mean, do we go proper three at the back, Tierney, White, Gabriel? Do we go? Do we bring Kiwior into the mix? You know, maybe if with that three at the back, then it's Thomas Partey at the right midfield, Jorginho in the center, Xhaka on the left, kind of a vibe in front of them, with Zinchenko as the fourth, as the left back, and then that's what, 7, Odegaard 8.
You have to play two. You have to play two up top, or you have to play two up top. Jesus has to play, so you have to pick between Trossard, Martinelli, and Saka. So again, Arteta's going to have a lot of decisions to make if he decides to change the formation, because there's not enough space for all the players.
There are reports that he really likes Roy Walters also.
Well, right? I know, and we spoke about that before, but again, the run in for what we're doing right now, I don't think we start slapping in, giving debuts to players right now. Unless if we're 15, 12 points clear, yeah, okay, we'll try him against Southampton maybe. But now, dropping those 2 points today, Southampton's a World Cup final now. You have to win.
The squads, it seems like we need a lift, you know, and I don't know. We got to find it from somewhere because, you know, we show up for, 10, 15 minutes. We're in the middle of a title race. We can't put together a full 90 minutes, of, like hell on wheels, everyone, busting their ass for 90 minutes. I don't know, man. That was pretty discouraging. The performance. Now, where we're situated, again, I will reiterate, I'm taking this position that we're in the table with two hands if you offer it to me, not just at the start of the season, but even at the turn of the year. January 1st, you tell me that this is what the situation is going to be. I'm saying all day, right? So keeping it in perspective at the same time.
For sure. I mean, it's not the sky's falling. Definitely not the sky's falling. We're still 4 points up. City have a game in hand. They still have to play Bayern Munich. They still have to. They're still in one of those FA Cup, I believe, or maybe even the other one too. So I think they're. I mean, they have. Well, they're going for the treble. So it's FA Cup, the league, and Champions. So they have a lot of games as well. A lot of opportunities for injuries as well. Haaland scored 2 yesterday. Looks unstoppable, but
I don't know what kind of EPO they're pumping these cyborgs full of over there. Them competing on all fronts right now. I'm not really sure. I wouldn't put anything past them. I'll be honest with you. So that being said, we are still in the driver's seat.
That's right. We still have the lead upon them. So that's our recap of West Ham versus Arsenal from the London Stadium today. 2-2 draw after being 2 goals up. Our goal scorers were Gabriel Jesus and Martin Odegaard. We have Southampton next at home at the Emirates. Look for a response from the guys. Look for, we have to get a W. I'm not hoping for it. We have to get a W. So we need to do whatever we can to make that happen. So any final words, Mr. Edson?
We go again, man. Southampton. I mean, the bottom line is we always knew it was going to come down to the City match.
Yeah.
So, these performances and this performance right here sets up perfectly for, the Saka redemption arc. And I think that we'll hopefully see that. I mean, maybe who knows? Maybe he knows that the contract extension announcement is coming. His head seemed to just not be in it today, and wasn't up for it against Liverpool either. That's it. If it continues, we got to treat him like any other member of the squad. And Trossard has been the guy since he's come. And the fact is that we're having these crap performances, and he's only coming on as a substitute. We got to find a way to get him involved from the start. And it doesn't involve axing Jesus, and it doesn't involve axing Martinelli.
Yeah. Well, that's decisions for Mikel Arteta. Gets paid the big bucks. He can make that decision. So, guys, again, Southampton next week has to be a W. We'll catch you next week. Let's go, you. Very disappointing. Very disappointing.